Hello guys, welcome once again to our weekly focus on the Forex. Let's start with BTC. BTC was here and I said we're expecting this buy to happen and actually it happens. So what are we expecting here? At this point, we're expecting the market to drop, okay, because we've seen that this is an impulse correction impulse. And impulse is standing here, even though this is a very struggish one. Okay, so but we still want to equate it to be a running flat for a drop. So we position ourselves for a drop, at least one more drop before the next buy. The almighty gold. All right, as we expected, that the gold breaks the all-time high here. So I keep pushing high. So at this point, what we can see here is for that continuation. All right, the market is going to keep pushing high because we have this bigger impulse, bigger correction. All this is a one wave. So what we'll be expecting here is another drop, then the market keep pushing high. At the end, gives all this structure. So watch out for this kind of correction here, guys. So we position ourselves as the market gives us more data. But because it's a 4 hours time frame, you'll be seeing a sell setup here in 15 minutes time frame, the buy setup here again, and another sell setup here again in smaller time. On the pound hourly, guys. So as we expected last week, guys, it plays out just beautifully well. So last week we were here and we know that this is going to drop to tag this, and eventually it did. So what then do we expect? For here, I think the market is completed, so we'll be expecting a complete of this correction and another impulse to play out like this. So watch out for this kind of move. All right, so this is an interesting one for us because see last week, guys, we were here and I said this market is going to drop. So eventually it did, and that actually gave us this sharp drop that happens a few days ago. And that was why we had this impulse correction impulse. So this wave, guys, is completed. All right, so this is another total impulse on its own. So looking at it from different perspective, what we'll be expecting is for this market to drop and keep pushing high. Something like this we expect. But don't forget that, okay, from a bigger perspective, it can be an equation like, okay, this can also be seen this way. All right, this can also be seen that this is a correction on its own, and this impulse will equate to this impulse, and at the end it becomes a bigger correction for a total drop. Okay, so something like this can play out too based on the data we are having at the moment. The Euro USD, right? So last week we called out this trade here, and actually it gives us 1:2 before the market started reversing. We called it out here, and the market pushed high. It didn't hit our stop loss, and it drops again to this point. So by the time the market gave us this, we started doubting this position. We put our position in break even and we are stopped out. So eventually, at this point, the market actually is making a very more complex structure. So we can see what is going on here. This market has broken this high here. So you have this impulse correction impulse. So you position yourself here. You watch out for this sell setup. Any sell setup we see here, guys, will be taking it for a total drop, or because of the wave, because this market has actually stretched itself. So we are positioning ourselves for the next sell setup, but it's not clear at the moment. The Euro Yen. All right, so Euro Yen, actually we missed this buy setup. We totally missed this buy setup. We're thinking that the market is going to drop, but we missed that. The market moved without us. So at this point, what we can see here is for the market to give us more data. All right, and this data is something that we are expecting. You can see that the market has given us an impulse here, a total correction and impulse. So having seen that, okay, this is a first impulse, sharp correction. So if we put this to be 1, so we'll be expecting a sell for this point before the market keep pushing high again. So the market gives us that sell setup at this point, we'll be taking it downward. The pound yen. All right, so this is an interesting one also. Remember last week we were here, we're expecting the market to drop again, but you see the market gave us impulse correction impulse, so which actually tags the high. So at this point we'll be expecting the market to tag this. Then from here we can start making the next informed decision for a buy. So for now we're expecting this market to drop to this trend. Then from there you can see enough data for us to buy. Dollar yen. Okay, so this is an interesting one. You see, we've been expecting the market to drop, but instead it's giving us a structure. So here we have an impulse, sharp sell, corrective move up, another sell. So here, what can we see? We'll be expecting the market to buy, okay, because what you can see here is totally a correction at in the middle. So what we have here is an impulse. All this become a correction, and from here we're taking the next impulse. So from here the market is going to drop. So this is what we can see here. So for this point here, we're expecting a buy at this point. Once the market confirm that buy, we'll be taking it. The pound Swiss. All right, so yeah, last week I told you guys that we're going to drop, which from here we actually did. We dropped from here. It was a beautiful one. So what then can we see here, guys? See, the market actually is making this impulse correction impulse. So watch out for this. The market can actually drop to break this low, and from here to start buying again. So this drop, I believe, is continue to drop to this point until it breaks this low. Aussie Swiss. Yeah, Aussie Swiss also is an interesting one. So look at what is going on here. The market has actually broken this trend totally. So what we can see here is an impulse on its own. So the way it's breaking this trend, we're expecting the market to consolidate up and one more drop. Okay. So if you see a sell setup after the market have retraced back, you might be taking that euro pound. All right. So I think this is a very interesting one at the moment, because we've been expecting the market to drop even from here, but in fact it keeps pushing high. But looking at what happens, guys, there is more data for us now to take a sell, because we have this impulse correction impulse, which is a very complete structure, and we've had this impulse down correction. So all this indicates for a sell. So at this point we'll be taking for a sell to this point, okay, and the market, believe me, is going to drop to this point. So we are, if you see any sell setup, which we position ourselves a sell stop at this point and put your stop loss conservatively. Let the market do this 1:2, 3. All right. So this is what we expected. Let the market trigger us in and keep dropping. Yeah, this is already an interesting one also for a sell. So we have seen this New Zealand. We have this impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse. So at this point, guys, the market has actually completed this structure. So we're expecting market to drop again. All right. So let's watch out for this too. The dollar card. This is an interesting one. Okay, so we've seen that the market actually has given us an impulse correction, impulse down, a complete structure. The trend has been broken and is triggering up. So at this point, we still want the market to give us this correction and one more up before a drop. So something like this is expecting an impulse, a correction, and impulse. So watch out for this. Before we know it, the market will complete this structure. And if you want to take a sell, I think you should take a sell stop, instead of market's execution, or because this market can give us this move like this before it drops. So put a sell stop here in case it's going to drop, but before you know it, do something like this, shift it to this point, and in between any new high, you put your sell stop in that beginning of that mono wave, and you wait for it before, because the market might drop like a stone very soon, because we'll be seeing that, okay, this is an impulse, or this would be a correction for another down impulse. New Zealand Swiss. Okay, so this is an interesting one. I think it's crying out for a buy. We have this already. Impulse here. We have this impulse correction impulse. So this is impulse correction impulse. So at this point, we'll be looking out for what? A buy to this point. Cardian, beautiful. So last week, guys, we were expecting to have a sharp sell. Instead, the market makes this firstly. So then we have this sharp sell, and believe you me, this just completed this structure. Okay, we have this impulse. So all this just completed this structure. So all this becomes a bigger corrective wave. So from this point, we'll be expecting the market to buy. Okay, let's watch out for this buy at this point, at least to this point before it can drop again. So let's watch out for this. All right, so let's take a look on the crude oil. Last but not the least. So crude oil, yesterday we missed the trade, guys. Okay, we actually got punished for crude oil yesterday. I don't know why, because this is a very clear structure for us. We took a buy here, but the market actually went against us. So, but it is what it is. That's trading for you. We caught this one beautifully, but yesterday we were expecting the market to keep pushing high, but it drops. Most times, crude oil don't follow that pattern as much. So that's why I trade it conservatively, okay? Because we have this impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse. Yes, I know this is a very complete structure. I was thinking that this market is going to at least push high again, like standard most pairs will do. We push high from here. From here, they will not start dropping, but instead, the market drop outrightly. So, but at this point, It is still going to be dropping to break this low. From there, we can make next informed decision. All right, guys. So this is where we'll join the cutting for this week. Uh, this week we'll try as much as possible to update you. We'll have a midweek market update probably on Tuesday or Wednesday. So endeavor to stay tuned and subscribe and like this video. See you in the next episode.